All right, welcome back to the channel. So Deontay Wilder, if you've not noticed, is being frozen out again by Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury and his promoters, just like where we were this time a couple years ago. And Eddie Hearn is implying that Deontay Wilder may never get another fight, another title shot again in his career because Tyson Fury dropped out of a rematch that he was contractually obligated to take. But let's talk about this historical treatment of Deontay Wilder in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. If you have not noticed, people in the UK boxing circles, not the fans, do not want any part of Deontay Wilder. And they have been acting like that increasingly. They've been that way their entire, as long as I've been paying attention to him. And they're like that now. Except for now, what they're claiming is that he's a defeated champion who never deserves another shot again at a belt. When he was the champion, he was some bum-bashing dude who shouldn't have a belt. When it comes to Deontay Wilder, no matter what the question is, the answer is he needs to go away. And that is where we are right now. There was an article that came out and a quote that was attributed to Eddie Hearn. When Eddie Hearn said, Deontay Wilder missed the boat. He may not get another title shot until 2022. Deontay Wilder is 35 years old. If he doesn't get a title shot until 2022, he will never get another title shot again. And the reason is because Deontay Wilder can knock every single solitary one of those heavyweights out, and you all know it. Including the guy that you say beat him in his last fight that doesn't deserve a fight. He put him flat on his back. And anybody else who was not named Tyson Fury, similar to the same circumstance in the next fight with Tyson Fury, where he had a gash this big over his head and he was bleeding all over the ring, and with anybody else, the fight would have stopped in like the second or third round. But that doesn't apply to Tyson Fury because Tyson Fury needs to be around at all costs. Deontay Wilder needs to go at all costs. No matter what the personality, no matter what the accomplishments, no matter what the track record of the fighters are relative to one another, Tyson Fury has to win. AJ has to win because that is the way we, the promoters, want it to be. And that is what is happening here. And that's the discussion of the video. Tyson Fury is not fighting Deontay Wilder, right? What's the date? Does he have a British Boxing Board of Control boxing license? Not that we know of. Have we heard anybody say that he has reapplied for that license? Not that we've heard of. Have you heard anybody say the WBC say that they're going to sanction a fight? The WBC says that they have not been approached about a fight that's supposed to be taking place in 5 weeks. Now, you can say, oh, well, the fight is definitely going to happen. Okay, maybe the fight is definitely going to happen. Maybe the fight's definitely going to happen. However, it's not going to be against a credible opponent, and it's going to be for the WBC title of the world, and whoever gets this shot at a heavyweight title is not going to deserve it. And with just a little bit of integrity, a little bit of honesty, a little bit of consideration for what boxing fans were promised after the last fight, they could have just worked together and made the fight in January, made the fight in February. What's the difference for Tyson Fury fighting in December 5th versus fighting 6 weeks later in January? The difference is that Deontay Wilder would be the guy that he's fighting, and he's already got caught cheating. Now, he got caught cheating many times before he ever fought Deontay Wilder, let me remind you. And he got caught in the fight cheating with Deontay Wilder 1 and 2. And he doesn't want to do it again. Frank Warren doesn't want him to do it again. I don't know what Bob Arum thinks, but Bob Arum is not trying to make that fight again, although it was told to everybody and their mother that it was going to be a third fight for this trilogy fight. I mean, there was going to be a trilogy fight. And guess what? If Deontay Wilder had won a contested decision, do you think that they wouldn't be saying, oh no, the rematch clause doesn't apply because it's because of the pandemic. Oh, you got to understand. I mean, come on, man, the whole world got shut down. You would be hearing all of that out of the other side, without a doubt. But all of a sudden, when it comes to Deontay Wilder, a major health issue that affected the entire planet and shut everybody down does not apply to him specifically. Anybody and everybody else it applies to. Bob Arum can tell somebody who is contracted to him, would you mind, please? I know what the contract says. But would you mind taking less money for this fight? Because you know there's a virus out here and it's driving down people's ability to pay. Right? And didn't Bob Arum ask people to do that to affect their contracts, their contracted obligations? They agreed to take less money to help him out for the betterment of boxing. But in the same situation, when it comes to Deontay Wilder, in the middle of a pandemic, it's not enough. Oh no, we cannot wait for him. Oh no, it doesn't. There's a pandemic when it comes to my pocketbook. But when it comes to Deontay Wilder's pocketbook, oh no, that doesn't exist at all. These guys are liars and they're cheaters. And I do believe in many instances, most likely thieves. And what these guys are doing here to Deontay Wilder is what they've been trying to do to him from the beginning. They are trying to steal his career. They're trying to steal his reputation. They're trying to steal his opportunities. They are trying to take everything that this man worked for and has more than a right, right? More than a right to have. They're trying to take it away from him because they don't want him to get back what he earned in the first place so that they can pass these belts around their in-house fighters that don't nobody want to see and try to convince everybody through this big media nonsense that they are the big fighters. Well, the fact of the matter is, dude, Tyson Fury will bore you to sleep if you watch this guy in a fight that does not involve Deontay Wilder. And he is a rampant cheater, okay? Rampant cheater. Not just an occasional cheater, a rampant cheater through his whole career. Not the Deontay Wilder, just the Deontay Wilder fight number 1 and Deontay Wilder number 2. Throughout his whole career, he has been cheating people. Whole career. Suspended for performance-enhancing drugs. Gets into a ring with Christian Hamer, doesn't have a thumb connected to his glove. Fighting with a mitten with a thumb disconnected. How in the world can you say that this guy is the one that is supposed to be upholding and upstanding for the sport of boxing? The guy has never defended a championship belt, and that was his own decisions that led to that. Not Vladimir Klitschko, not something that happened in the ring, not the big bad world doing something to poor boo-boo Tyson Fury. No, Tyson Fury's own decisions led him to not giving Vladimir Klitschko the rematch he deserved. Vladimir Klitschko, according to everybody that says these things, according to everybody that says this stuff, right? Everybody that says this stuff, he's one of the best heavyweights ever, right? Best heavyweights ever. But when he fought Tyson Fury, what did Tyson Fury do when it was time for the contractually obligated rematch with him? He sold out. Didn't take it, and Vladimir Klitschko never got an opportunity to get back what was his because he had come into an agreement with a rematch clause. And there is something honorable about about living up to your commitments. But hey, man, as long as Deontay Wilder ain't around and we can get rid of him and we can have all of these big, fat, sloppy, slow, non-punching, who cares, heavyweights running around here boring me half to death. Hey, as long as you can charge me for that, that's what you're talking about. Anyway, man, it's nonsense. And I hope you guys realize this because when it comes down to it in the end, after all of the end of this stuff comes out, remember me, man. Remember that I said this. We'll be talking 10 years from now in a book where people are talking about how underhanded and crooked boxing was in 2020. And a prime example was Deontay Wilder. And you guys 10 years from now will all be, oh, how sad that was, while you were main part, right, of supporting it. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think. And with that, I'm out. Peace.